Darius Garland went full Grant Williams in the loss to Houston. And you never, under any circumstances, go full Grant Williams. Unless it's Game 7 Grant Williams. I'm not even exaggerating when I say there's nothing sadder than watching a Warriors game right now, because I watched the fourth quarter of their loss to Sacramento, and the Kings were doubling Curry the second he stepped foot over half court. And it's not just because it's Steph Curry. It's because they literally couldn't care less about anyone else on the Warriors taking a shot, no matter how open. The Mavs lost to Minnesota a few hours after finding out that they're going to be without Derek Lively II for a few months with a foot injury. And I don't know, it just kind of felt weird because earlier this week we also found out that they're looking to shop Daniel Gafford, who had 14, 12, and 3 blocks in that loss. And it just kind of feels like karma. It's like, oh, you don't think you want this guy? You don't think you need this guy, Gafford? Well, now you really, really need him, so have fun with that. Not getting enough attention kind of has its perks in the NBA. Case in point, Cade Cunningham became the first player in NBA history to have 10-plus turnovers in back-to-back games. And you probably didn't know about either one of those games until just now. Luke Kennard hit 7 threes off the bench in Memphis' win over Charlotte. And like, my first thought was, did anyone else kind of forget about Luke Kennard? Like, I know he's still in the NBA and I know he's on the Grizzlies, but like, anyone's kind of forget he was the thing? You never realize how much 40 points is until someone like Mark Williams scores 38. Oh, so when there's a little bit of snow on the ground in New Orleans, they cancel the game against the Bucks. But when DeAndre Ayton says he can't get out of his house because his driveway's covered in ice, we all call him unmotivated and that he doesn't love basketball. It doesn't matter if it's true or not. We didn't believe him. Grady Dick threw down a nasty baseline jam over Tristan da Silva in Toronto's win over Orlando. I also hate when Dick gets thrown in my face. I'm sure Mikal Bridges would have been a bit more nervous about his return to Brooklyn if it wasn't the Knicks' 3rd straight home game. Joel Embiid not playing in Denver is about as surprising as Joel Embiid missing insert any other game he's missed over the last decade. Oh my god, guys, LeBron had a triple-double in LA's win over Washington just a day after he flew to Atlanta to watch the national championship game. Oh, so proud. Here's how I know Anthony Edwards isn't the next Michael Jordan. He missed a potential game-winning 3 against Memphis, and nobody cared. 4 Knicks bench players played at least 10 minutes in their win over the Hawks. What? Donovan Mitchell beat Anthony Edwards and Devin Booker in back-to-back games. That kind of sounds like best shooting guard in the league material to me. I don't know, some would say. CJ McCollum at 45 points against the Jazz. If I hadn't checked the box scores like for these videos, I would not have known that, and that pisses me off. Every time I see Zach LaVine went for 30 plus like he did in a win over the Clippers, I'm like, oh, that's right. You're not total garbage. Heat rookie Khalil Ware came off the bench to score 25 points in a win over the Spurs, and I can't wait for Heat fans to tell me about how any team with a superstar would be lucky to give him up for this rookie. Tyrese Maxey had 37 points, 7 assists, and 6 rebounds in a loss to Milwaukee. You know what Maxey's season reminds me of? You know, people are going to focus on the 17 free throws SGA hit and round to his career high 54 points, but if you really loved basketball, you will focus on the beauty and the artistry of his 17 made field goals. The fact that the Lakers are still getting burned by the Ivica Zubac trade 6 years later is hilarious. They traded him for 17 games of Mike Muscala, and he puts up 21 points and 19 rebounds, and the Clippers win over the Lakers on Sunday. And the funniest part, the cherry on top of it all, is that the Lakers have just been constantly looking for a center to pair next to Anthony Davis. The Suns picked up a win in Detroit. Booker got to be around family. KD got to watch his Commanders upset the Lions. It was a good weekend for all. I guess not the city of Detroit. I don't care if the Pacers are winning games nowadays. Every time I look at Tyrese Halliburton's box score, I get sad. He's on my fantasy team. That Draymond apology tweet you all saw? That wasn't really him. No, I swear, it's like really him, verified and everything. Dante DiVincenzo was nowhere to be found in Minnesota's blowout win over the Knicks. I could probably guess where he was. It's probably by Rick Brunson's car. The bad news for the Heat is that they lost badly to Denver, which was their 3rd straight loss. But the good news, those Vice jerseys look sick. Okay, so let me see. Zion will get a bunch of tattoos. He'll change his facial hair to look like Khalil Mack. Basically do everything to change his appearance except, I don't know, the one thing we've all been asking him to do. See, this is why it's important to check the box score, because I didn't know that Luka wasn't playing in Dallas's win over OKC. But when I saw that the Mavericks won, I was like, what? How does that happen? Then I found out that SGA wasn't playing, and I was like, okay, that makes more sense. D'Angelo Russell missed out on a potential game-winning 3 in his first game back in LA. And even worse, we missed out on what could have been the greatest ice in the veins 3-point celebration of all time. The Pacers and Pistons got into it after the game in Detroit, and you just know the league was absolutely pissing themselves. They definitely walled off the court, got rid of everyone's cups within a 20-row radius. Screw Ron Artest, everyone was keeping their eyes on James Johnson. Remember the first time the Cavs and Thunder played where we thought Cleveland was actually now in OKC's stratosphere? Then they played again. That was a really adorable time for us all. My biggest takeaway from Houston's win over Sacramento? That game was on TNT? Like intentionally? Good for them. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.